morning all of you. This is 12th class biology lecture 5 of chapter 8. Topic to be discussed today is cancer, and in that we will study about the types of cancer, detection and diagnosis of cancer, and also its treatment. So first of all, what is cancer? It is an abnormal and uncontrolled multiplication of cells. Normally, the cells present in our body show multiplication, means cells undergo division, but in a controlled manner, right? So such cells which show controlled division are called normal cells, but here what is happening? Abnormal cells are showing uncontrolled multiplication, right? That's why these are cancerous cells. Okay, so here uncontrolled division is occurring in cells, which results in the formation of tumor. What is tumor? Masses of cells, right? If any cell is undergoing uncontrolled division, then obviously it will form a mass of cells, right? And that mass of cell is called tumor. So these abnormal cells which form mass of cell are called cancerous cells, and this property is called their cancerous property, right? This is called cancer. Now I am saying that normal cells shows a controlled division. Why? Because normal cells shows a contact inhibition. Contact inhibition means contact with the other cells inhibit the uncontrolled growth, right? Contact inhibition is a property of normal cells, by which when a normal cell is in contact with the other cells, that inhibit their uncontrolled division, their uncontrolled growth, right? So this property of normal cells is called contact inhibition, and this property is not found in cancerous cells. The abnormal cells will lose the property of contact inhibition and will be called cancerous cells. Okay, so cancerous cells do not have the property of contact inhibition. Mass of cell that is formed by uncontrolled division of the abnormal cells is called tumor, and the tumor is of two types: benign tumor and malignant tumor. So what is the difference? Benign tumor remain confined to the place of its origin, right? The place of its origin means where this tumor is formed by the uncontrolled division of the cells, it will remain confined to that place only. That's why depending on the location it can be harmless, right? Depending on its location, this type of tumor can be harmless. It can be easily removed by a surgery, by a small surgery, and it is usually harmless. Then second type of tumor is malignant tumor, and it is very harmful. How? Because after its origination it spread and invade nearby tissues. Okay, from the place of its origin it spread to the other places also, and also it invade nearby tissues. That's why causing harm to those tissues also, and if it is spreading to the other parts of the body, then forming a new tumor there also, right? That's why this type of tumor is harmful. Now metastasis. It is a property found in the malignant type of tumor. Okay, it is a property of malignant tumor. It is not found in benign tumor. What is this property? Metastasis is the spread of cancerous cells. Cancerous cells can also be called neoplastic cells. Okay, so here the neoplastic cells spread to new areas of the body, right? Often by the way of lymph system or bloodstream. So it is the most dangerous property of the malignant tumor. What is happening here? Tumor is spreading to the other parts of body through the bloodstream or the lymph system. Okay, so wherever it will go, means to the here you can see this is the place of origin of the malignant tumor. Okay, this is cancer, malignant tumor. It can be called cancer, right? And with the blood or the lymphatic system, it is spreading to the other parts of the body, right? And wherever it will go, means to the other parts of the body, it will form a tumor there also, right? And there it will compete with the other cells, with the normal cell, and will cause the damage of the damage of the normal cells of the body. So it is very harmful type of tumor, and metastasis is the most harmful property of the malignant tumor. Now, how do cancer cells affect other cells? We are saying that cancer cells are abnormal type of cells, okay? Then how these are affecting other normal cells of our body? First thing, because cancer cells invade the tissues, surrounding tissues, okay? So these will damage the surrounding normal cells by invading the tissues. When the cancer cells will invade the surrounding tissues, then these will damage the surrounding normal cells also, right? Second thing, starve the normal cells by competing for vital nutrients, because cancer cell proliferate, you can say these divide at a very fast rate, okay? Their multiplication rate is very fast. That's why these will require nutrients also. That's why these will compete with the normal cells for the vital nutrients, and the normal cells will starve because of that, right? So normal cells get affected by the cancer cells. Now, types of cancer. First is carcinoma. Cancer of epithelial cells is called carcinoma. Cancer of connective tissues is called sarcoma. These are the specific terms which are used for the cancer depending on its location, that where the cancer means where the malignant tumor is present at the time. Depending on that, these terms are used for the cancer, okay? If the cancer is in melanocytes, then melanoma word is used. If the cancer is found in blood, then leukemia word is used for the cancer, right? And lymphomas is the cancer of spleen and lymph nodes. Now, what is the cause of cancer? So cancer is caused by carcinogens. What are carcinogens? Cancer causing agents, right? And these cancer causing agents can be of three types: physical agents, chemical agents, or biological agents. What are physical agents of the cancer? Ionizing radiations like X-rays and gamma rays, and non-ionizing radiations like UV rays, right? So all these rays, X-rays, gamma rays and UV rays, all these rays are physical agents, and these rays have a property to mutate the DNA. If someone comes in a brief exposure for the in these rays, X-rays, UV rays, okay, then inside the cells DNA can mutate, because these rays have the property to mutate the DNA. That's why these are considered as the physical agent of the cancer, okay, because cancer is caused due to mutation, right? Now, chemical agents. What is chemical agent? Tobacco smoke, that is major cause of lung cancer. Also vinyl chloride, caffeine, nicotine and mustard gas, okay? All these have the chemicals to cause the mutation, and that's why these are considered as chemical agent of mutation. Then biological agents. In biological agents, there are oncogenic viruses, and these oncogenic viruses have some genes, have some specific genes called viral oncogenes, okay? And those viral oncogenes have the property to convert the normal cells in our body into cancerous cells, right? So viruses can cause cancer by mutating the DNA present inside the cells, right? These can convert the normal cells into cancer cells. Second biological agent is cellular oncogenes or proto-oncogenes. These proto-oncogenes are normally present in our cells, okay? These are the genes present in our normal cells, and when these are you can see here these cellular oncogenes, we can represent these by CONC, right? So C-onc is for the cellular oncogenes, okay? C-onc present in normal cells, right? which when activated leads to oncogenic transfer. Oncogenic means cancerous cells, genes responsible for the cancers, for making the cells cancerous, right? So these cellular oncogenes are normally present in our cells, and when these are activated, these can transform the normal cells of our body into cancerous cells, right? And these cellular oncogenes are also called proto-oncogenes. You know the meaning? Proto-oncogenes means the genes which can cause cancer later on, right? Detection and diagnosis of cancer. First method is biopsy. In biopsy, a piece of suspected tissue cut into thin section is stained and examined under microscope, and that is called histopathological study. So here you see, this is the diagram for the biopsy. What is done? This piece of the tissue from the suspected area. Okay, so here this is the suspected tissue. So this piece is taken here, which has been stained, and then it is examined under the microscope. And this examination of the suspected tissue under the microscope is called histopathological study. Means the study of any tissue for the disease, right? Now this biopsy can be used in case of leukemia, means in blood cancer, and in case of blood cancer, biopsy is done for the study of the tissues, also of the blood and the bone marrow. Okay, biopsy is done for the tissues, blood and bone marrow in case of leukemia, in case of blood cancer. And what is checked here? The test is done for the increased cell count. Okay, because the increased cell count, increased than normal numbers, will indicate cancer, right? So this method is called biopsy. Next method is radiography. And in radiography, radium is representing radiations. Okay, so here in radiography, X-rays are used to take the pictures of the internal organs of the person. Okay, with the help of X-rays, you might have seen any X-ray picture, right? So internal organs are studied with the help of radiography, with the help of X-rays, right? Next technique is CT scan. That is also called computerized tomography scan. Okay, it is computerized tomography scan. So what is done here? A combination of many X-rays from different angles is used here to study any suspected tissue or suspected organ. Okay, so you can say a better version of the radiography, we can call it. Okay, so here you can see the this is the complete machine for the CT scan. Okay, so here different X-ray combinations, X-rays taken from the different angles are used to scan the complete organ, right? The next technique is MRI, that is magnetic resonance imaging. In this technique, strong magnetic fields. So here strong magnetic fields are used to scan any organ or the suspected tissue. Then use of antibodies against the cancer specific antigen. Okay, this is another technique for detecting or for the diagnosis of the cancer. Here what is done? Antibodies are made against the cancer specific antigen. Okay, and what is done? The blood or the any tissue of the person is taken here. Okay, and the antibodies, which are ready-made antibodies which have been prepared in the laboratory, those antibodies are allowed to interact with the blood of the suspected person, right? If there will be interaction between the antigen and antibody, it will indicate that the suspected person has the cancer, because that cancer specific antigen will be present only in that person, right? Only in that case there will be interaction. If there will be no antigen present in that blood sample, then how the antibodies will interact, right? So if there will be any interaction, if such any reaction will be observed, in that case we can say that cancer, that person has the cancer. Okay, so this is one technique for the detection of cancer. The next is techniques of molecular biology to detect genes related to the cancer. What is done here? Genes means the segments of DNA. Okay, so here, because mutations are present in the DNA which cause cancer. Okay, so in molecular biology technique, that those genes are detected. Okay, that any mutation is present in that gene or not. So it helps to prevent some cancer, right? If those genes are detected for the mutation with the help of molecular biology, then it can help to prevent the cancer, because first of all there will be mutation in the gene, and after that the number of the cells, means number of the cancerous cells will increase, right? So if it is controlled at that level only, then we can prevent the cancer. Such individuals may be advised to avoid exposure to the particular carcinogen. Okay, such suspected person in which some genes are mutated. Okay, so such persons can be advised to avoid the exposure to the carcinogens, so that no further mutation occur in the genes, right? So that can avoid cancer. Example, this particular carcinogens, right? Carcinogens are the substances which cause cancer, and example is tobacco smoke. So such individuals may be advised to avoid the exposure of the carcinogens like tobacco smoke. Next is treatment of cancer. How it can be treated? With the help of surgery it can be treated, and a tumor can be removed with the help of surgery. Then radiation therapy. In radiation therapy, tumor cells are irradiated lethally. Okay, here means tumor cells are killed with the help of radiations, and that is called radiation therapy. And what is done here? These are killed with the help of radiations without damaging surrounding normal tissues. Okay, so this is called radiation therapy. Then chemotherapy is use of chemotherapeutic drugs. So here drugs are used to kill the cancerous cells. Many drugs have side effects also. Mostly all the drugs which are used to kill the cancerous cells have the side effects like hair loss, anemia, etc. So the person who is taking chemotherapy for the cancer will have these symptoms like hair loss, anemia, etc. Then immunotherapy. In immunotherapy treatment, the patients are given substances called biological response modifier. These biological response modifiers are the substance which activates their immune system and helps in destroying the tumor. Okay, means these will activate the immune system. Immune power will be increased here so that tumor can be destroyed by the immune system itself. And examples of such biological response modifiers are like alpha interferon. So these are given to the patient. Usually a combination of all surgery, chemotherapy and immunotherapy is used to treat the patients of cancer. Based on today's topics, your homework is NCERT question number 12 and 13. Now let's discuss the homework solution of previous lecture, and this is answer of question number 6 of NCERT that I gave as homework. Answer is primary lymphoid organs are thymus and bone marrow, and secondary lymphoid organs are mucosal associated lymphoid tissues, lymph nodes, spleen, Peyer's patches. Those are found in small intestine, and we have already discussed about all these lymphoid organs. And this is the answer for question number 10 of NCERT that I gave as homework. The various routes by which transmission of human immunodeficiency virus takes place. So these are various routes. First is sexual relation with the infected person. Second is organ transplantation from an infected person, right? At the time of organ transplantation also body fluids are exchanged. So That can also be a reason for the infection. Third, transfusion of contaminated blood products and blood. Other blood products like any of the cell of the which can be transfused, okay, and also the blood transfusion can be a reason for the infection. Then transmitted from mother to the child through the placenta, because HIV can pass through the placenta, so it can be transmitted from mother to child. Then this is answer of question number 11 of NCERT, that what is the mechanism by which AIDS virus cause deficiency of immune system of the infected person, right? And the answer is, upon managing to enter the body, this virus enters into macrophages, right? When the HIV enters inside the body, first of all this virus enters inside the macrophages, right, where the RNA genome of the virus duplicates. So inside the macrophages, RNA of the virus duplicates first for the formation of viral DNA, right? So here reverse transcription occur, by which RNA of the virus converts into DNA by the help of reverse transcriptase enzyme, right? Now this viral DNA incorporated into DNA of the cell of the host, means inside the DNA of the macrophage cell. So this viral DNA get incorporated inside the DNA of host cell, which targets the infected cell to synthesize the virus particles, right? Once the DNA of the host cell will be replicated, DNA of virus will also get replicated, and after that there will be synthesis of virus particles. Then the macrophages continues to produce virus, serving as HIV factory, right? So these macrophages will continue to produce the virus, and because these are producing the viruses, these macrophages will be called HIV factory. On the other hand, HIV enters the helper T lymphocytes, replicating and producing progeny viruses, right? After coming means multiplying inside the macrophages, these HIV virus also enters inside the helper T lymphocytes, helper T cells, okay, and also replicate there and produce the progeny viruses, which when released in the blood target other helper T lymphocytes, right, which is causing a progressive decrease in the count of helper T lymphocytes in the patient body. Now because these viruses are attacking the new T lymphocytes every time, so there will be a progressive decrease in the count of helper T lymphocytes in the patient's body. In the long run, there is a significant decline in the count of helper T lymphocytes, right? So there will be decrease in number of helper T lymphocytes, and that's why it will result in weakening of the defense mechanism of the body. Like there will be a weak immune system. This is referred to as acquired immunodeficiency. So this decrease in number of T lymphocytes due to HIV infection is called acquired immunodeficiency.